This is the Josh Ennis Show.
Howdy, and welcome in to the Josh Ennis Show. For those of you on the live portion of this, watching it live, we decided to go early today because I just couldn't sit around for 2 hours. I've got thoughts.
You were firing today. You just wanted to keep it going.
I just wanted to keep it going. I didn't want to lose my mojo. So
it's kind of a weird week anyway. Like, we're on just 3 days this week. It's basically a holiday. Everything's shut down. Who knows?
I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
What is time?
I don't
Time
even
doesn't
know.
matter.
I don't even know.
Doesn't matter.
Dadgummit.
What is time?
What is time? What's with today? So I don't even know if anybody's going to watch this live. I'm sure they'll find it. And if they do watch live, I appreciate that. I just know that we're 2 hours earlier than we normally are. So there. But I don't know. We're going to test out different times these 3 days and just see if people react and, join at any point, like see if people will watch at 5 or if people will watch at 7 or if people will watch at noon. Like if we get a job and say we're working afternoon somewhere, I would probably want to do the podcast at, noon, something like that, and have it done. So when I get home after a radio show, I can just, enjoy life. So I guess we'll see.
We will.
We will find out.
Experiment this week, basically.
And then maybe on Saturday, we'll just get on the phone on Twitch and get drunk at my dad's house.
That may be Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Yep.
Sunday.
Well, we got drunk twice this week.
I had a great time last night.
I know, and I told Andy, because I said, Andy, he goes, I went to Twitch on Saturday to look for you, and you weren't there. And I said, Andy, I'm going to be honest with you. We didn't do Twitch because you lectured both Jilly and I about being drunk last Saturday, and we just decided to get drunk without Twitch for one week.
It kind of killed the drunk on the internet party for a second there.
So we'll bring that back, but we figured we'd take a day off.
Needed a weekend off.
But don't forget about Dr. Busby and ToeGrips.com. They help Luther out. They really do. Luther takes the supplement, the Encore Mobility, and it helps him get around. It helps little aching joints, promotes hip and joint flexibility, restores mobility and comfort, and renews vigor and vitality. So you should get these supplements. You can get this at ToeGrips.com. It's a green-lipped mussel and New Zealand deer velvet, which is a novel ingredient not found in the big-name joint supplements in America. So make sure you check them out at ToeGrips.com. And, of course, there are the Toe Grips. We were talking with Dr. Busby the other day and telling her about Luther, and she's like, he may end up needing those toe grips at some point.
I know.
And I said, my boy is not going to use any toe grips right now, though. We're going to see. Not that there's anything negative about that, because the toe grips are great, and they help out older dogs, help them get around if they've lost their mojo a little bit. So check out ToeGrips.com. That is the website, ToeGrips.com. If you want to check them out, and it's a 10% discount if you mention the Josh Ennis Show, but in particular, I say mention the Josh Ennis Show. I'm not trying to take Luther's shine away. Use the promo code Luther.
Yeah, this is his client.
Yeah, well, without Luther, I don't think this would exist. So, yeah, Dad, I'm going to need a cut of the proceeds from this too, Dad. I need to get my money here, Dad. So, Dad, you better have my cash. I expect it at the end of the month. First of the month, you better have your money or
else.
So there. But go to ToeGrips.com, 10% off with the promo code Luther. And good news for you, if any of the supplements or the toe grips don't work out, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. They're wonderfully nice people. They're incredible people. We love them. Dr. Busby and Mr. Dr. Busby, ToeGrips.com. Make sure you check them out at ToeGrips.com. Let me get a tweet out here to let everybody know that we are live and we're cooking. But yeah, today, I don't know. I just felt like talking early today.
Well, once you get on a roll, you don't want to stop.
I know. You kind of lose your mojo when you do that. But today, I was spitting fire
You
today.
actually had me listen to like a segment, which means
I
you
did.
were actually on a roll. And you were really enjoying yourself.
I did, and because usually I don't. Usually I'm like, boy, Josh, that sucked.
Yeah.
But I felt that today, well, you sent me a picture, because I didn't even know this was a thing. But you sent me the picture of the wall of shame that they were. And it was on the news that there was a press conference talking about this wall of shame.
The Mayor Turner, announced last week when he said that the bars were going to close and everything, or the governor said the bars were going to close, that he was going to make a wall of shame.
Yep.
And like if people weren't following the guidelines and there was too many crowds or bars were open when they weren't supposed to be, there was going to be a wall of shame. Well, who the hell knew that he was actually going to have someone design a wall of shame?
And it looks
poorly,
stupid.
by the way. I sent this to our friend Carrie, who does all of our graphic stuff. And I'm like, does this just like irritate you to see this?
It's
and she's
so
like,
bad.
1, because it's a wall of shame, and 2, because really, this graphic,
It's terrible.
someone got paid probably to make that graphic.
It's awful. And basically, for those of you who are not in the Houston area and you're like, well, what the hell is this wall of shame?
It's literally a brick wall.
It's a
Picture of a brick
picture of
wall.
a brick wall. And if you're a business that exceeds the 50% capacity, or if you're, say, like a bar and you're supposed to be closed or
Yes.
whatever, they are urging people to snitch.
There's actually, I got to find the actual.
And this is the part. First of all, I hate living in a country where we have a group of people who are so actively trying to get rid of police officers and law and order, yet they will so willfully just bend over for the government and snitch on their neighbor over having a bar that has a couple people in it. Like, it really, really annoys the hell out of me, man. The snitching part, that's the part that really bothers me. If the government's going to do shit, fine, they're going to do whatever they do. But when it's people who are so willing to snitch on businesses, like, okay, just remember, it starts there. That's where it starts. But it won't be long until Karen's out there with her radar gun just standing on the side of the road trying to bust you for going 60 and a 55. Like, if we give this guy, like, we're encouraging this type of bullshit from people. Like, that's the part that just bothers me. And that's why I lost my mind on the show today. When you sent me that picture, I was like, okay, I've had enough of this.
Like-
This is ridiculous. And the other part that bothers me about it is that, like, and I believe that the reason the spike in cases, there's a billion reasons why we've seen numbers go up. I mean, testing, we test more. There were protests. There are bars that people are starting to just live their lives a little bit here, so the numbers are going to go up that way. I understand that, and I get it. I think it's not just one reason. It's a bunch of reasons. Yet, these same people who have a wall of shame for businesses are the same people that were in the streets of 60,000 bragging and boasting about how 60,000 people were in the streets for a protest. There were times, like, I'm fairly certain I saw the Art Acevedo shaking people's hands,
Giving
not
hugs.
having his mask
Yeah.
on, giving hugs. So explain to me how someone who runs a bar is just a horrible POS that needs to be called out on television, yet those guys are all cool and everything's fine. It's out of control. And people are, like, the people I hate the most are the people celebrating this, like, way to go, guys, for the wall of shame. What, like, you're monsters who are just horribly stupid people.
If you want to see these graphics, by the way, they actually have a special website for the wall of shame. It's just HoustonTX.gov/wall of shame.
Oh, God.
So you can go to HoustonTX.gov/wall of shame and check out just this amazing, literally, it looks like, the brick wall that Charlie Brown and Linus lean up against
Yes.
on Snoopy.
It's so, you know what it reminded me of when I saw it? Was the opening credits of 21 Jump Street, or like when you see
Yeah.
a box for 21 Jump Street and it's just spray painted 21 Jump Street on a brick wall, or the old WYSP logo, which was basically spray painted WYSP on a brick wall. But
you can get the full size version if you want to post. You can.
It's
share.
so sad.
Mhm.
Like, I'm all for wearing masks. I'm not one of these yahoos that says, don't wear your mask. Wear your mask. Go to Walmart. Go to the store. Go to the restaurant, right? If you'd like to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't, then don't go somewhere. No one's forcing you to go somewhere and wear a mask. So whatever you do, it's your call, your prerogative, whatever.
Also, at this point, people are just going to make their own decisions. If you like who was the country singer? Chase Rice, maybe?
I don't even know who the hell that is.
Who
but-
actually held a whole concert in Nashville, like no social distancing, nobody had masks. It was a full venue concert, and all these other country artists just like ripped this guy, like, this is so irresponsible. We're never going to be able to tour again because this guy, blah, 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 blah. No one forced those people to go to that concert.
Yeah.
People are going to make their own choices. They know what the risk is. What are you going to do?
My problem is that people are so excited to be diming people out. That's the part that bothers me. And it's not over murder. Like, you're not watching someone rape someone and diming them out. You are going out and trying to shut down a business because you have no power in your real life. You're probably just a lazy slug that accomplishes nothing in life. So your one little bit of power you get is being someone who can go to the internet and affect someone else's livelihood. I think it's pretty pathetic that people want to do this. Like, I have no problem with wearing a mask. I put a mask on whenever we go somewhere. We went to eat at Walk-Ons this weekend. When we walked in, we had to have a mask on. We
Yep.
took it off to eat. I had no problem with that. I was all about that, and I'm I'm totally cool with it. But I don't like the world we're creating where people are celebrating government restriction. Like, I was talking about this on the show today, that story about Kansas State, where the athletes are threatening a boycott unless something changes with this dopey kid who made an off-color, pretty trashy joke about George Floyd, but it wasn't racist. It wasn't a threat. But their whole argument was it was threatening.
It was hateful.
It was hateful, and we don't feel safe on the campus. Well, here's the thing, friend. They're not going to expel a guy for an off-color tweet.
Well, now that's what they want to do,
university.
Right?
Yes, it's a state university.
They want to make a rule that's actually in like the student guidelines that if you tweet something that's deemed hateful or racist, that they can expel you.
Listen, I'm not about being racist, right? But I am petrified that that's kind of where we are. Is like, I was talking about this on the air, that, it used to be 15, 20 years ago. Like Friday, we were watching the MTV, the VMAs, and Slim Shady comes out, and he's doing the real Slim Shady. He's got 100 Slim Shadys with him, and everyone he ridicules and mocks in that song is in attendance.
Yep.
And it was so badass, like talking all this noise about all these people who are right there. And it was awesome. Now it's like, what happened? Where did we go wrong? Now, like, it used to be we celebrated people who spoke up and challenged the FCC, challenged authority. Now we just bend over for authority unless it's the police. We want to cancel the police. But we don't want to, we just want to bend over for our government and say, oh, make us do this, make us do this. And then we celebrate that they make us do it. It's out of control. And I agree with Vince on Ripcast here. Limiting speech is a slippery slope. Of course it is. It's not freedom of speech unless it offends you. It's freedom of speech. Now, if your business wants to fire you over something, that's your business's choice. If they feel that you said something that reflects poorly on them and they want to fire you, then let them fire you. This is college. This is where people discover themselves and find out who they're going to be for the next 20 years of their lives.
But by that
blah, blah,
logic,
blah.
then, if you're representing the university, they don't want to have that.
But I get that, but there's a lot of things that a lot of people do at colleges and this is different. This isn't a job either. Like, say you work for Mattress Mac or something, or you work at Burger King. If you tweet that cops are pigs, or you tweet that white people are racist, or you tweet whatever, and they say, yeah, we don't want to be associated with this, I'm fine with that. This is a place of education. You cannot control what people think, despite the fact they want to. And I don't like it. I don't like that that's where we are.
The
When
bigger
it's an
issue
individual, and by the way, they can't look at that way at Kansas State because it's a public state university.
Well,
so it's not like an independent business.
That's true. But the one kid that was supposed to be going to LSU this fall, and then he was on video saying the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to LSU anymore. They figured that out, and he is not allowed to attend school there.
Listen, I'm not about
public university or not. My bigger thing, like with the Kansas State thing, is like, if there's a video of like some white kid screaming N-word, 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 okay, that's an issue. But a joke, or as off color as it was, who is deeming, is this tweet hateful enough to get you expelled? Is there a board that's going to be like,
Like,
is there like going to be
rate that
a vote?
4 out of 5
on the
hate scale. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
And then we've already talked about this too, but like intent matters.
Yes. Now, the other thing is this guy is apparently like some Trump kid or something. Like he's like some big Trump supporter, which automatically makes you a bigot, right? In the eyes of a lot of people. So that doesn't help. I just don't like that these athletes, basically what we're getting now is it's not truly about affecting change in a lot of these cases. It's just about just flexing and showing what you're capable of getting eliminated.
Well, hell,
like, you want to
Mississippi
eliminate
State got the whole flag changed.
And again, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like the state flag thing in Mississippi doesn't bother me.
So
what
there are
bothers me,
changes.
can I tell you what annoys me though? Like, so Friday night I was watching Smokey and the Bandit 3. Awful movie, but it was on and I'm watching it. So the car in Smokey and the Bandit, the Trans Am, has a Confederate flag license plate.
Not anymore.
I'm watching this and they fuzz out the Confederate flag license plate. Like, it fascinates me. Like, again, I'm not here to support the Confederate flag. I don't own any merch with the Confederate flag. It ain't my thing. But I don't care. And I can understand where you're a state like Mississippi and you've got a Confederate flag inside your flag. I can see where it's kind of like, that didn't feel all that inclusive.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me. It's just funny, like, what words are we going to start banning? Like, do you ban the word white? Because, like, your L'Oreal stuff, right? Like, you can't say whitening or fair or whatever it is.
Getting rid of whitening, fair, and I forget the other one, lightning, maybe?
And yeah, like so you can't say that. So they changed the name of these to
But I hate
pander.
shit like that because I feel like nobody was asking for that to happen.
Well, and that's why.
And all this does is take away from like the actual issues and
Well, I
the
agree.
things that should be changed. Like it just takes away from like purposeful change.
It's like that that tweet, and I talked about it today, where they're talking about Mike Henry stepping down as the voice of Cleveland,
Yeah.
and then this black chick quote tweets it and goes, "I was just kind of hoping you guys would just fix the police issue," basically saying
I wasn't asking for this.
we don't ask for this. And that's the thing is, I don't think there's a lot of black folks doing this, man. Like, I think that this is just an example of white people kind of commandeering a movement. There's a lot of white guilt from these celebrities. As I said about this Mike Henry guy that does Cleveland, if you're so appalled by what you've been doing for 20 years, then take a lot of that money you've earned, the millions you've earned doing Cleveland, and give it to a black college or give it to multiple black colleges if you're so appalled by it. And not only that, like, my guess is that he's got money involved in there that's not just for voicing the character. I mean, he created the character in terms of the voice, so I would assume for 20 years on the job, maybe he gets residuals.
I also feel like the
so it's not like
Cleveland
he's
show
poor.
airs all the time.
That's what I'm saying. So I think
he's still
residuals-
getting money for that, I'm sure.
I would think if he'd be dumb if his deal doesn't include some residuals on that. So
And then God bless
he ain't
Allison
hurting.
Brie, who tries to play I was a Vietnamese character, and I feel terrible about it.
yeah, and I
On
think is
BoJack
that done?
Horseman.
Is that show done now?
It is.
So it's not like she canceled herself. She just wanted to let everybody know, before you attempt to cancel me, I hate myself as much as you hate me.
Yes.
But COVID is still serious, says the ocean above. I had multiple code blues last night in our ICU. I'm not saying that shut everything down, but don't discount it or dismiss it. Well, I haven't, and I've never been someone to dismiss it. My point being in all of this, that we're at a point where people that are going to a bar are going to a bar knowing the risks. They know this. Now, I know the argument is, well, then they could pass it on to someone else. I understand that. But having this this wall of shame is just, I don't like it. I
If
don't
I'm a
like this
business-
generation of people diming people out.
Honestly, if I'm a business, I dime myself out just to get the press.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong on that either, because they got tons of press and they're all trending here
Yep.
locally.
And a lot of
so-
people are like, I know where I'm going this weekend.
yeah, so I get you.
So I believe the mayor said that he hasn't actually fined any of these businesses yet. He
So all
can't,
you're doing is free press.
yeah.
No, I'm with you.
And they can all play we're a restaurant card. They all serve food.
Yeah.
So now I did think it's interesting, too, that all the bars and nightclubs, evidently the Texas Bar and Club Association, or Alliance, I think it's called, rather, Alliance, is going to sue the state of Texas for discrimination.
Well, I mean, I don't blame them.
And they're
just
telling,
kind of picking and choosing who can open and who can close.
this alliance is actually telling bars and clubs, stay open. If you get fined, we'll handle it.
Well, and I
We're
don't-
suing
and-
the state.
And here's why I don't blame them. And here's why I think their point is valid. Is 60,000 people were in downtown Houston and they were celebrated. So you mean to tell me, say I own a bar, I have 10 patrons in there. You mean to tell me I can't keep my bar open, but you as politicians and elected officials will celebrate a gathering of 60,000 people in downtown?
And then host the
That would be
Texas
my argument.
Republican convention where they're expecting 6,000 people indoors. That's okay to have 6,000 people indoors, but we can't have like 20 people in the bar.
Or what happens if the Astros? What happens if the Astros have 20,000 people in the stands? It's all bogus.
Yeah, it's very strange.
It is absolutely
If
bogus.
you're going to have rules, they have to apply to everyone.
And that's the thing about it. They never do. What was the website with the wall of shame? Somebody was asking.
It's, let's see,
It's so sad, and it's such
Houston-
a pathetic little graphic. It's fantastic.
HoustonTX.gov/wall of shame.
There you go. So check that out.
And I
No.
guess he's just going to keep adding new pictures every time another bar ends up on the wall of shame. With the holiday weekend coming up, I'm certain there'll be plenty of bars on the wall of shame. No better way to celebrate America than by expanding the wall of shame.
I was talking with somebody about this today. With everything that people are canceling, I'm shocked that they're not canceling Independence Day. Like, at some point, this is my bold prediction, I do think that at some point there will not be Independence Day. It will have a different name. but I believe that July 4th / Independence Day, I'm shocked they haven't canceled it. Maybe people just enjoy that it's a holiday. They don't have to go to work.
Let's be real.
But I
that's what it
bet you that I'm not going to be shocked if they cancel it.
It's a big drinking holiday. It's a big party holiday. It's the opportunity to shoot fireworks, which are illegal in most states, but who cares?
Yeah, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm surprised that hasn't been a bigger target of the cancel culture in recent years. But now that what we're doing is we're giving so much power to cancel culture.
We need to remove certain names from the Declaration of Independence, I think. Anyone who signed that thing that owned a slave at some point or somehow, tied into it.
Not only that, and they want to cancel the national anthem and make it Imagine.
That's what will make me move to the Bahamas.
Whenever the national anthem is replaced by hacky
Imagine
crap by John Lennon.
That's what'll do it.
Seemingly not a great guy either. Also British. So, anyway, who do we have to tell them about, Billy?
Concrete Chemistry.
Concrete Chemistry. That's our friends at Concrete Chemistry, one of the newer sponsors of the show. Wrong picture there. That's that. No, wrong picture there. Hey,
there you go.
I rule. Nobody does it better than me. But Concrete Chemistry, they're in the business of shiny, beautiful concrete. They design and install resinous and polished floor systems for commercial, industrial, and institutional applications. And they can do it for you in Philly or in the Houston area. How about that? And in response to the Rona, there's virtual job site walks and virtual project estimates via Google Duo. Okay, that's our friend Eric. And he will hook you up, and you can even get this stuff in your house. It's not common, but there are people that want that shiny type of look to their floor in their home. And we've been told that people have reached out to Eric about that. So
that's good.
713-497-4701. 713-497-4701. The website is concretechemistry.com. Eric Daly is the president. You've heard him on the show before. Awesome dude, big supporter of Gist Nation, so support him if you can. 713-497-4701. It's our friends at Concrete Chemistry. All right, who's next?
Next, we have Mac Knight Safety Solutions.
Mac Knight Safety Solutions is next on the agenda, and we love them. They're always busy. Every time I look at Facebook, Travis and the guys are just busy. And they are in the business of what, Jilly?
Safety.
You bet your ass they're in the business of safety. That's what I'm talking about. They are in the business of safety, and particular safety on the work site. So let's say that, you want someone to come in from the outside and handle the staffing, the safety staffing and consulting at your work site. Well, you call the guys at Mac Knight Safety Solutions. They work nationwide and international projects. When companies have a temporary need for safety oversight on projects, they use the folks at Mac Knight Safety Solutions versus hiring their own people. They work in industrial and commercial construction, oil field, and manufacturing facilities, and also conduct facility audits for regulatory compliance and assist their clients with developing and maintaining comprehensive safety programs. Awesome people. They do a great job. Basically, on the work site, they're there to give you peace of mind. Like, say you're the foreman, whoever's on the job site. You're Mr. Slate? I don't know. Say you're in the quarry and you're the Mr. Slate of the quarry, and you want to make sure that, Fred doesn't fall off a dinosaur, but if he does, you're covered. Well, there you go. That's what they do at Mac Knight Safety Solutions. The number is 832-363-1295, 832-363-1295. You can check them out on Facebook and just see what they do. They've got 25 years combined experience. They're a great business. Luther's Grundle out.
Yep.
Luther says, scratch my Grundle. I'm starting to feel a little bit better. But it's Mac Knight Safety Solutions. Do we have one more today?
We do. It's Harbor Classic Builders.
Harbor Classic Builders. Where you at, Gamma? Where you at? That is our friend Gamma and everybody over at Harbor Classic Builders. What do they do at Harbor Classic Builders? You guessed it. They build harbors. That's actually not true. They do not build harbors. They build nice homes, beautiful homes from the Gulf Coast to the Texas Hill Country. High-quality homes for over 20 years, starting in 1999. And again, they can hook you up with everybody. The architect, the engineer, interior designer, construction line. They'll put you in contact with their hand-picked experts who they've partnered with previously. They've had people build multiple homes, I mean, they've done amazing. They have done amazing stuff. They're owned by Murphy Yates. He's a founding member of Operation Finally Home, which builds mortgage-free homes for wounded veterans throughout the country. They recently celebrated their 100th home. You can check them all out on Facebook. But look at these gorgeous houses, man. So if you're in the market for a new dojo, you get on the horn. Give them a call, 281-960-3900, 281-960-3900. That's Harbor Classic Builders, Harbour, Harbor Classic Builders. You can check them out on Facebook to see some more pictures. They just do awesome stuff. It's our friend Dama and Murphy Yates and everybody at Harbor Classic Builders. Thank you very much.
Now you have to come Grundle scratch because Luther's
Oh, no.
demanding it.
Oh, no, Dad. I need my Grundle scratch. Oh, boy. There you go. Boy, he's such a good boy. What a boy he is. So thank you for the bits. Spank it, slap it. Good start to the week here. We're at this short week, so if you got the bits, bid them. Hook them up, please.
You are pathetic, Mr. Luther.
Luther is super pathetic. I really like what Barstool does. I like the fact that Barstool doesn't cower to the mob.
You gonna
Now-
change the picture?
Oh, thank you, Jelly. That's a very good point. Dad, you got to change the picture. You got to do better. Do better. There you go, Dad. You did better that time. You did great. Thank you, Trevor from the 203. Dick Trickle says, sadly, Trump is going to lose. He is going to lose. And if you're a Trump voter, obviously that's sad for you. But he is going to lose.
We're all going to lose no matter who wins.
Yes, but
be real.
But I mean,
Either option.
I fear more of what will happen when the Democrats have a lot of power because I disagree with them in the way they handle things and a lot of stuff. But Trump is going to lose. I have that feeling about it that Trump is going to lose. I think he has no real like when you listen to him talk. Like, dude, you gotta stop whining. Stop being the victim and just step up and say, we're going to figure this shit out.
Well, he's not allowed on Twitch anymore.
Well, and that's an okay. Let's go there
That kind
first.
of concerns me.
Me too. And let me get into that. Let me get into that right now. So you send me a story today that says Twitch has banned Donald Trump.
For hateful comments.
And they consider
Again, what
his
is deemed hateful? What is
That's the
considered
thing is,
hateful? Who
I
decides
don't know.
what is hateful?
Well, I think the story you sent me said some examples. One of them was about building the wall, and one of them was something else, and those were deemed hateful. So, I tweeted Don Collins about this kind of jokingly. So I haven't reached out to him to get an official word on this. But here's my biggest concern, man. My biggest concern is that we don't know what is hate speech. It's just talking about Donald Trump hate speech. If you don't include he's an a-hole, is that hate speech? Is talking about race hate speech? I don't know what hate speech is anymore because everything is kind of now lumped into the hate speech category. Cha Nola says, if he used N with an A or ER, yep, bad. Again,
I agree with that.
I would agree with that, but I don't know what hate speech is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what we can get away. I felt comfortable coming to Twitch because I was like, hey, there's freedom here.
Yeah.
But when you see the way these social media platforms pick and choose what they consider offensive, and a lot of it's based on reaction from the social media mob trying to silence one side of things, that does concern me. I don't know, do we get reported by people? Do people listen to what we talk about? Which, by the way, I'm not a political person. I've never voted. But I'm sure people listen to this, as Fred Fowler said when I asked him jokingly. I said, so where do you think I fall politically? To which Fred, who I consider to be a very smart guy, says, you're down the middle on most things like most of the country is. I said, yes. Who do you think likes my show? He goes, conservatives. I think conservatives like your show, mostly conservatives. So I think people view what I do, kind of my anti-political correctness act, if you will. My shtick, as people call it. I think that's considered bigoted and hateful. And I do find myself concerned about what we say that is considered hateful or what can get us eliminated from here. I don't know. I don't know what I can do. I mean, for the most part, I think we're pretty level-headed, nice people that don't say things that are overly offensive.
Right, but as you said, is it just going to be one person gets angry and then reports us to Twitch?
I don't know.
Snitching?
I honestly
For
don't
what?
know.
I don't know what they'd be snitching about because I don't think we say anything that's awful.
Yeah, I concern myself. I didn't even see that until you sent it to me,
Yeah,
but I am
just don't
concerned.
like when platforms like that just start censoring things.
I don't either. Now, it's there again. This is an interesting debate, though, because you say, well, it's their sandbox. I'm a big believer in, hey, it's your sandbox. So if, Barstool says some offensive things, but they don't fire anybody there, it's their sandbox, right? They run it. If you're a guy that owns a Papa John's and one of your employees says something that's offensive and someone doesn't like it, you fire them, right?
Or puts a swastika of pepperonis on a pizza.
Yes.
True story.
That did happen. And you know what? It's your sandbox. Go for it, right? But I think social media has become so big that it's not just Twitter, Facebook, whatever. You could make an argument that social media and having the freedom to speak on social media is damn near a right at this point.
Almost.
Because it's such a huge deal. Like, it is your right to be able to communicate on social media. It's not your right to have a television show. It's not your right to have a radio show. But when you look at social media, I could argue, and I think I can make a pretty sound argument, that social media is so important to the big picture and so many people use it, and it's such it's like water for people. Like, Facebook is like water or food for so many people. Twitter is like that. So when you start governing this based on what your political beliefs are, I think you're really treading on a very dangerous slope, a very dangerous terrain when you start doing that.
They need to redo their terms of service then and make things very clear as to what is and what isn't allowed. Like, I'm all for if you're tweeting I'm going to go shoot up a school. Yeah, that's a big issue, and they should probably shut you down and probably investigate you.
Well, that certainly should investigate.
Yes. So stuff like that I'm all for, but then when you say hate speech, again, what is hate speech? What?
And I think that
it's very vague. It's kind of like, I don't know.
The line on what is hate speech has really moved, right? Like, there are obvious things that are hateful and threatening.
Yes.
But look at the situation with the kid at K-State, right? That dude, and I believe the joke or the line that he tweeted was, "Congrats to George Floyd for being sober for a month." Tasteless joke, right? It kind of sounds like a joke that someone like a Jeselnik would make. Like that kind of like that, that's his act. But the point being is, how do you look at that tweet and then even have a thought that this dude should be kicked out of school? That's not threatening. You could say it's inappropriate.
Again, they said
it's tasteless.
They said it was hateful.
But the thing is, it's not there's a lot of shit that's hateful. People make that. You could argue that rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, saying that is hateful. You can argue that when we used to air the thing that said you're listening to the human Hindenburg, a lot of people died on the Hindenburg, right? So how do you gauge? I understand it's really just judged by who's the most offended on social media, but there's a lot of stuff that you can classify as hateful. But does that mean it shouldn't be out there? Because people, I hate that I'm about to do this. This is funny. But hold on, I hate that I'm about to do this.
I'm not a bigot, but I'm allowed to be one.
I hate that I did that.
Oh, boy.
But while that guy's a lunatic, there is an interesting debate to come from that, which is is it a crime to have bigoted beliefs? I mean, if you don't go out and kill someone, is it a crime? So I don't know. But anyway, what were you saying?
So I had seen a post actually that a friend of mine shared on Facebook. One of his friends got a notice from Facebook that their post had to be taken down because it was insensitive material.
Yeah.
It was a picture of Chuck Norris holding guns.
And they took it down?
Yeah. It was a joke about the coronavirus and how Chuck Norris had his guns and something like that. I got to find the exact post. Hold on. To tell the story, to do it justice.
That's great.
And let's see here. So the post was a photo of Chuck Norris with the guns.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys can see it.
And what does it say?
Chuck Norris has been exposed to the COVID-19 virus. The virus is now in quarantine.
That's
the
it.
typical
It's a
Chuck
joke.
Norris,
It's
Chuck
a
Norris
stupid
joke.
Chuck Norris joke that's been happening forever.
And they got the notification. Your post goes against our community standards on misinformation that could cause physical harm.
Yep.
So is it because he's threatening with the guns, or that Chuck Norris didn't actually kill the coronavirus?
It's stupid.
So that post was taken down by Facebook.
Yeah, that's stupid.
We encourage free expression, but don't allow false information about COVID-19
Oh,
that could
come on.
contribute to physical harm.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you think someone read that? I think, to me, if anybody would read that and think that's true, Facebook shouldn't exist anymore.
I know.
That is ridiculous. That is absurd. So just to be clear, that they felt that was spreading misinformation about COVID, and the misinformation was that Chuck Norris killed the COVID.
Yes. That post was taken down. It's an actual, it's not fake. That's an actual thing.
Oh, my God.
And
that's
I know
great.
this person, so I know for a fact that he wouldn't just lie about it.
Oh, that's great. Hate speech is like pass interference. Make it up as you go, I guess. Good point, Lone Star DC. And that's how, like, a lot of these rules in sports now, too. You just kind of wing it, like block charge or travel. I mean, there's a bunch of them. That's a very good point. Any post that someone disagrees with or finds offensive is dealt with by the users themselves to ignore it, block, or whatever. I would agree. Let's see. Go Gadget Wang says, I had a post taken down on Facebook and was put in Facebook jail for 3 days because in a post being supportive of LGBT, I used a shortened word for transgender people that I can't post here because it's against community standards. It was called hate speech. I think I know the word you're talking about, and I was accused of, because there was a story at one point when I was in Philly. It was about one of these basketball analysts who allegedly, like, they caught him having an affair with a transvestite, not a transgender person, but like a dude dressed as a woman, basically. And I used the term that you're referring to. And now this is what's pathetic is I'm afraid to say the damn word, because what if I say that and then they just eliminate our Twitch channel?
Well, that's what people are going after Jamel Hill for. A tweet she said with that word in it from years ago.
Well, I never
Which is funny
feel bad
because
for
she
her.
tries to cancel everybody, but
Yeah,
you know.
I don't feel bad for her at all.
But no, you're right. You say this word on here. Again, it's like funny to say this word. We're not talking about like the N word.
No, or a word that's even about transgender people.
Or about
it's more
gay
so,
people.
It's, we're talking about, like, I remember I was called transphobic because I used this word.
But you say these things on Twitch now, they're going to shut you down.
And that's the thing I don't know. Maybe Don Collins can help us out. Maybe we'll talk with Don tomorrow. I'd like to know what the guidelines are and what is considered offensive now, because I feel, I'd like to feel safe coming on here and just shooting the shit and saying some stuff. Like, I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm just wanting to talk.
What does Coach Dave use to stream his show? Maybe we should go on that.
That's our answer. Well, it's just the internet. I mean, that's basically, it's just on his website.
Viewing what you put on that screen put me in danger of hellfire.
He's got the right idea.
Or maybe we should just play around on the Zoom.
Can I ask you one more thing right quick? Before you made that last pick, it was you. They showed you on TV. You seem to be very agitated. Did you have a trade fall? Did you have a trade fall through with Detroit?
No, we were messing with the Zoom. We were messing on a Zoom with myself and Easterby and all the guys. No, nothing agitated. I thought the camera's on the whole time. I don't know. We were just messing around on the Zoom. We're on the back patio here. We've done a lot of business on the back patio over the last couple months.
Yeah, I'll tell you this though, and this is the beauty, and this is why when people like Moscona and other people say, "Hey, you need to just kind of have your own platform," like you are your own sandbox basically,
Yep.
and I agree with that, and that's why hopefully in the next handful of years, at some point, the Josh Ennis Show brand on Twitch and podcast is so big that
But now we're controlled by Twitch.
that's true.
We're never going to be our own sandbox, damn it.
No, maybe not. But here's why I admire Barstool, right? So what Barstool was able to do is they had the mob come after them, and the mob was angry because they've used the N-word in the past, like in
It was
song
the
lyrics.
video
and
making the rounds today was like calling Colin Kaepernick like
a
Arab
terrorist,
or something.
yeah, something like that. And everybody's all worked up over it. And I like that they can just step up and basically tell people to screw off. I forgot what the exact message. Maybe I'm sure that there's a video on Twitter from Barstool. And let's see if I can
Yeah,
find
it
it.
was Portnoy saying something. It was good.
And good for him. And that's the thing, like Portnoy and Barstool on a different level, they are what Stern used to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, screw you to political correctness. It's tits, it's ass, it's F you political correctness. That's essentially what you're getting on Barstool now. It is what Stern used to be. It is what what people used to admire. And Barstool is proof that people still do admire the ability of people to have their own thoughts and think freely. All right, here we go. I found this. Let me put on my headphones to listen to this. So this is Dave Portnoy talking about cancel culture. Here we go.
Okay, emergency press conference time. Well, it took them long enough. Cancel culture finally coming after Barstool. I mean, they've come after what? Jimmy Kimmel, Joe Rogan, Bill Simmons. Now it's our turn. You knew it was going to happen. To be honest, they've been coming after me for 17 fucking years. People want to get rid of us. And here's the thing. I've been doing this for 2 decades. I've made fun of every group of people, every race, every creed, every culture. You name it, we've made jokes about it. So if the No Fun Club, if the cancel culture wants to go back blog by blog, video by video, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, decade by decade, and comb through everything we've ever fucking said and done, yeah, you're going to find a few jokes that miss the mark. That things that are, if they were said today, you'd be like, how they'd fucking say this? What are they, idiots? But times change. Sensitivities change. Cultures change. When you've been doing it as long as we have, things fucking change. It's like going into a comedy club for a comedian that you hate, that you didn't buy a ticket for, hearing a joke, running out to the street and be like, hey, you'll never believe what this guy said, without giving any context or even saying it was a comedy fucking show.
Let me tell you something. I admire the hell out of this. And I admire the hell out of this because it's someone saying, I'm not going to let you cancel me. And that's the beauty of having your own sandbox.
Yep.
Now, granted, I know that they're in a relationship with like a casino or something like that. That's kind of a part owner of this now. So it's not like it's just a bunch of bros, going out there with no rules. I'm sure they have rules. Everybody has a certain level of rules. But I admire that the guy doesn't step up there and apologize because, as Andy's always told me, that you don't apologize. Apologizing doesn't get anything done. Now, granted, I worked for Andy, and they forced me to make fake apologies, so maybe he was a little bit hypocritical on that, but I admire this.
That's what these people do. And I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to bend the knee. The thing people are coming at me now, the Kaepernick, it's like literally a joke from The Office, which, by the way, Steve Carell has said would never exist nowadays because people would cancel it in 2 seconds. Yet, the canceled people probably fucking love that show. They just fucking hate me. Now, keep in mind, there isn't one person I've ever worked with, who has worked for me, we've done business with, interacted with, who will ever back up anything these haters say. Not one. And I've worked with thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Instead, they just throw rocks, darts from behind bushes, and then when I turn around like, you want to talk about it? Because I can explain my thought process and defend myself, they never do. Nope. They just want to run and hide. Throw darts, run and hide. Well, fuck you. There's really fucking important issues going on in the world right now. Concentrating on trying to cancel a comedy site who's been doing it for 2 decades and has a mountain of evidence to support that they're just trying to be funny is not the best use of time. And not only that, I hate to break it to you guys, but whenever you try to cancel us and do these movements that pop up once every couple of years, it only makes us stronger because normal people want an escape for a couple fucking seconds from this fucked up world. And that's all we're trying to do. And it just makes them like us more. So, all right, keep trying to cancel us. We'll keep growing stronger. And when you're miserable and dead and fucking off doing your own thing, in the next decade, we'll still be here doing us, and you'll still be losing sleep about it. That's just how it goes. You see this mug ain't going anywhere.
I like it.
And I don't think they haven't taken down the videos or anything either. He's like, fuck it.
Good. I admire the hell out of that. I admire the hell out of the fact.
It's like, I'm not going to cancel myself.
No, but that's all these idiots do. They cancel themselves. They're morons. I love it, man. I don't love everything they do either. Like, I'm not like a huge Barstool guy. Like, I wouldn't, like, I'm not, whatever. I'm not stooly, I guess. I'm not judging them. I love the fact that they've created a universe, and that's what we've always tried to do, and that's what we're trying to build here, a universe, a nation, as your shirt says, Jilly. Just Nation. We've tried to do that every time we've had a radio show. I think that's vital. The success of a show, if it's going to be a great, legendary, big-time show, is you need to have a universe, a nation of people that are diehards, that love what you do. Your P1 people. That's why the ticket in Dallas has worked so well. I think what they're doing is badass. I don't like everything. I'm not a particularly big fan of their podcasts or anything like that. But I admire the hell out of the fact that they can step up and just tell them to screw off. I think that's beautiful. We need more people who are willing to do that. Fewer people who are willing to just bend over and take it. We need more people that step up and tell people to screw off. I think that's admirable. And that's the kind of stuff that Stern used to do. That's what made Stern so great, is he did not apologize. He did what he did. He said it was comedy, and boom. That's how you got it. And, I think that's brilliant. I think that's what we need more of.
Well, the next thing you know, Dave Portnoy's going to end up on the wall of shame. So.
Right, yeah, you better look out. Sly Turner's
He's coming
for you,
you,
buddy. Clay Travis was talking about it this weekend. ESPN did a whole day of woke programming the other day. It was their lowest ratings in 25 years. And I like what guys like Clay do. Clay is like Barstool, but more, and I know he says he's not conservative, and I buy that. Like, he probably thinks like I do on a lot of things. but he is a more political type of Barstool. But they're both big. The brand for Barstool is larger than that of Outkick, and I think that's why Outkick is adding Jason Whitlock and adding other people to try to build that thing. I see no reason why Clay shouldn't have people doing podcasts for him, because and he might say the wrong thing at Fox and be fired. It seemed like he almost got fired over the the First Amendment and boob shirt. So I'm all for that he says those things. It wouldn't shock me if he got whacked by Fox at some point, because it's just not, a lot of them don't view it as worth it. But as he's building Outkick the way he is, that's pretty badass to know that if it doesn't work out at Fox, well, he could end up on Fox News like Will Cain, which I have no desire to be on Fox News. Someone said that earlier. Why don't you go to Fox News? I have no desire to be on Fox News. That's not really my bag. But he could end up on there. He could, and most importantly, he's got his own sandbox. So if it all goes south and Fox says screw off, Clay Travis will have Outkick.com, and that's where his life will be. He can have videos. He can have podcasts. He can do it all, and he would make money. Would he make as much money as he is at Fox? I don't know. It depends on how big the thing gets. My guess is Dave Portnoy is a millionaire, and I admire the hustle, and I admire the effort that goes into that, and I want Just Nation to become a big thing. So Clay Travis deserves so much credit for debunking all the Rona fear porn going around. He said it from day one. It was an overreaction. Well, I think he's done a good job. What's funny is, and I won't tell you who did this, but last week I was talking about how I admire the Joe Rogans and Adam Carolla, who I really admire, guys like that, and Clay, and about the media BS and stuff. And a radio guy sent me a DM, and he sends me a story about where Clay Travis basically said that his whole shtick is fake because it's, this is where the money is, being this kind of conservative character. And it's just funny how angry he makes the Meltzers of the world, and because Meltzer I don't think likes the guy either. But these kind of guys that just say his whole shtick is fake and blah, blah, blah. And like, they can't fathom that someone who's hyper liberal could also be doing a shtick. The only way you could be doing a shtick is if you're the guy that calls out the hyper liberal people. There's no way you believe what you're saying. I used to hear that from Meltzer all the time. There's no way that Clay Travis believes this stuff. Maybe he does. Let's see here.
So now TABC is coming in and suspending these bars' alcohol permits for 30 days. There's 7 of them that they've suspended.
So 7 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, man.
That's across the state. 7 across the state. Prospect Park is one of them here.
Yeah.
So they are suspending their alcohol license.
Whatever, man.
It's going to get really interesting because this lawsuit's going to happen.
Yeah, and it should. Let's see here. The I'm only doing this for ratings shtick on either side is kind of old. Be yourself. First of all, what's old is the people who will respond to what you do and say you're only doing this for ratings. Why else do you do anything? Do you like show up at the radio station every day saying, I really hope no one listens to this shit? Because, boy, like the idea that you're, oh God, you're doing something to keep your job. It's like saying you're only shooting baskets to try to score points. You're only shooting the ball to try to score. Well, that's the end game. That's the point of all of this, is to get ratings, thus keep your job. The idea that it makes you some sort of awful person because you care about what the ratings for your show are is stupid. But that's another one of those arguments people use when they don't like you, is they give you you just say that for ratings. There's no way. Like a guy sent Fred Fowler a text message today. Fred works at 97.5. And he shows it to me, and I don't remember it exactly, but it's some buddy of his. And it says, man, this Josh Ennis asshole, man, his coke dealer must be rich with all this energy and all this yelling this guy does. I mean, he goes, I mean, he's got to, I mean, is he really an asshole? And then in parentheses, he puts, he's got to be. I'm like, you don't even know me. Like, so, like, because you disagree with me on the radio, you think I'm an asshole?
Obviously.
And to which Fred says, no, he's actually a nice guy.
That's
which
nice.
I am. Like, I'm not a bad dude. It's just
at
funny.
790, they just said, yeah, he's an asshole.
Oh God. They would have said, thank God somebody else said it. You only go to work to make money. That's another one of those points. Like people like,
well, you don't.
Well, no, but but thank you. But the point remains, and fair. And anytime someone's told me that's like, you only eat to stay alive. Like the idiots that give you the only doing this for ratings. It's kind of like going into like a recording session for the Stones, and you're like, you guys are only recording this to make people buy it and get rich. Like, it's so stupid. I don't know. I have ethics issue with doing things I'm not comfortable with to keep a job, controversy included. Well, Benny on the radio, you're a noble human, and I applaud your willingness. Now, Grant, like, I don't go out and say things I don't believe. I believe everything I say. But like it's entertainment. It's radio. Let's see here.
We may have a wall of shame, but in Atlanta, they are putting this on the news. This is how not to wear a mask. So don't put it on your elbow.
Oh yeah, I can see where that would see where that's an issue.
It's a cartoon of like all these ways not to wear a mask.
I love the dummies that like they'll be wearing their mask, but their nose is like it's so stupid.
Picture number 2 here says you can't do that. So
well, obviously, because they're morons.
Well, we don't have a cartoon telling us how to wear masks here yet.
Oh God.
So maybe they didn't know.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Hey, Adam Prophet's in the chat. Hello, friend. We never really hear from Adam anymore, and we just assume he dies.
He got tired of the bullshit.
He did. He's like, I'm out of here. You guys are nuts. I don't need to be judged by you people. Let's see here. Let's see what some of the other people are saying here. Not to be sentimental, but that's why I love your show. You're uniquely you, and you put on a good show. Well, thanks, Benny, on the radio. Appreciate that. And that's what we do here. Like, I don't tell you things I don't believe. Do I exaggerate things? Do I say dumb stuff sometimes or sell it a little bit? Sure, but I'm not going to get on the radio and give you an opinion I don't believe. You keep changing the time slot. Well, Adam, I'm trying different times just to see. Like today, we've had a good audience in here today. But, I'm just trying to, find the right time. Because if we end up getting a job somewhere, maybe we have to do the show at noon. Maybe we have to do it at 1. I'm trying to get out of doing the show at, 8 or 9 o'clock at night because it just consumes my whole night. Not that I don't love you guys. I can't stand the fake radio bits for ratings. But, Clyde, you're in radio. So, like, what do you mean fake radio bits? Like, I'll tell you, like, when I listen to the Cuz, you want to have a great bit? Holy shit. So this Saturday afternoon, Jilly starts reading me all of the 97.5 tweets about what their topics are.
It's the midday show Twitter, the Anthony Gargano show Twitter.
Oh, my God. I'm like, that's my problem, though. It's like, people would listen to the Cuz and they'd be like, boy, this guy's so genuine. Then they would listen to me and be like, this guy's so fake. And I'd be like, do you believe what this guy is doing? I'm actually being like, that's one of my biggest criticisms of people, and one of my biggest issues is if you're a guy going against the grain, they think you're just making shit up. And if you're a guy going along to get along, then you must be being honest. Like, I hate that. But yeah, that's the 97.5 midday Twitter.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
It's so good. It's like the topics are just so bad.
And they come up every 2 weeks. It's the same thing. Like there's a wheel or something.
I think it used to be like he'd have like quarterly stuff. Now because there's no sports, he has to just go back to the same damn well all the time. Boy. If you want proof that woke sports talk doesn't work, look at Bomani Jones. His TV and radio show were both canceled. But I actually like him. I like Bomani Jones, and he defended me once on Twitter. And you might say, well, then your opinion is skewed. Well, when everybody else wanted to tear me down and fire me for the, I believe it was the Kelsey thing, I believe the response that I got from Bomani Jones was like, yeah, you said something that missed the mark, but I mean, I got what you were trying to say.
It wasn't hateful.
Yes.
Today, I mean, that would have got you kicked out of school.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. And that's why I appreciated Bomani Jones. So I will always have love for people who've defended me on stuff. The GOAT of Broad Street could have been an interesting bit if it also wasn't the one that they recycled the same 4 topics each day on WIP. Listen, I'm not going to rip WIP. You know why? Because they're kicking everybody's ass. Even in a time when there's no sports, they're kicking everybody's ass. Now, part of that is because 97.5 just isn't even trying, I think, at this point. Like, I'm curious. Like the stuff they put on the air, I don't know that you want to win at that point. So, like, I honestly don't. I like the guy who runs the place. His name is Joe Bell. He's a wonderful guy. But like, if they really wanted to compete with WIP, I would have been there 2 years ago. Like, if you really want to compete, if you're not interested in competing, then keep trotting out the same shit you're trotting out. But like, it's not good. It's not competitive. And I mean, listen, you can call me if you want. I wouldn't even guarantee I'd go there. But I mean, you can call me and I'd love to hear you. But if you really want to try to win and be a legitimate force in the market, then put some interesting people on the air. There's an idea. Let's see. Is 97.5 tanking to get new talent? No, I don't think that's how it works. They're just tanking because they have no clue what they're doing.
Or they don't care. It's one of the two.
I'm leaning towards don't care. It's just kind of like, well, we got Preston and Steve. They make $1 billion, and
They'll
DeBella
carry the
does
cluster.
well, and
They're fine.
MGK does well, and they do fine. So it's just kind of like, hey, the sports station's here. That's cute.
Let it exist. It's fine.
Boner. Is Boner one of them? Boner is good. Let's see. Mike Miss is such a joke. I can't believe they still believe in that show. Hey, man, look, that's their thing. They had their chance to get rid of the guy. Looked like they had to clean out, and they didn't do it. So they're married to him, I guess. And he'll melt down on them again at some point. The guy's a mental midget, so he'll melt down again at some point. But, for the time being, he won't.
Literally after he signs a new big money deal.
Yeah, he's got his woke lackeys there with him. And I that's not fair. I don't know the producer. I've never met him. So that's not fair of me to say because I just don't know anything about the guy. But, it's just bad. So, look, then that's Philly. It's shitty radio. All these people are passionate about the radio. It's just shitty radio. And, again, you can say that this is arrogance. You can call me a jerk. You can say whatever you want about me here. But the fact that they have not hired me there is a sign that they don't care about winning. Because there's very few people you can put on the radio in Philly that will give them the pop needed to start competing. And the fact that I'm not on there would tell you that winning is not really their number one priority there. Let's see here. I saw on All Access that Boise and Fort Wayne, Indiana are hiring for a morning talk show host if you're interested. But are those going to be those, because I know that iHeart is now launching like this Black Talk network. Basically, it's great too because it's like so... It's basically like cancel culture type of stuff where it's like, well, we've got these shitty stations that are just running network sports programming.
Oh, no, they fired a bunch of people.
Well, some of them are. Now, but a lot of these, when I looked at the list of stations, a lot of them are like, there's some translators in there. There's like some dinky
But there's a good number
AMs.
of people that lost their jobs over this.
So just so they could launch like this Black Talk network, which, hey, fine, more power to you. It's a trendy thing right now. But like, I don't know that people are going to find this on these crappy AMs that they're putting this on. Like they're on horrible, like in small markets on horrible AMs, including 1280 in New Orleans.
Pour one out.
They couldn't survive without me.
Pour one out.
Well, 1280 used to be like a gospel station for a long time. Then they put sports on it. Now they're like, hell, we're just putting the Black Talk stations. And I think that's what they're called, like a Black Talk network or something like that. Let's see. If 97.5 did a poll, should we hire Josh Ennis? I bet you wouldn't do too well. What, in Philly or in Houston? Oh, I would disagree with that. I bet it would be a gigantic. I bet that we would, even if it were 50-50, that would be a home run because that means one person hates you, one person likes you. Let's see. BLM talk probably won't work in Boise or Fort Wayne. Who knows? Never know. But anyway. But yes, Philly produces really bad radio to just really good ratings. It's a fascinating world. But I give credit to Spike, and I've never dismissed it. Every other sports station in the country is getting no numbers right now during the Rona, and they continue to put up numbers. So I think a lot of it's garbage, and I wouldn't listen to it on the radio. It's boring as hell to me.
But people do.
But here, really, does that say something about Spike, or does that say something about you people? That somehow the ratings for WIP keep going up when everybody I talk with, it's like, God, it's so bad. Well, hold on now, Chief. You're the ones listening to it.
Someone's listening.
Someone's listening to that crap. Oh, no, did the computer stop?
Oh, it died.
Oh, did the battery die? Oh, Josh, terrible job. Now I'm going to have to go back and record the podcast over again. What a dope I am. Anyway. I'm gonna have to I'll just have to let it run up here for an hour during the wrestling matches. But
did you not check the battery on that?
I did.
Bad boy?
It said it was at like 30-something%. I thought
well,
I had
that
enough
computer
juice.
is very old and it does not last very long.
Well, you know what? Then I apologize.
Like
but,
when we used to do the show, I would have to keep that plugged in most of the morning.
yeah, I messed up. But I'll just have to take this audio and re-record it. Not the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, that's more of a criticism of the people of Philly who continue to give ratings to WIP. So that's why they do it. If people weren't listening, they wouldn't keep doing these shitty, hacky bits. They do it because you listen. Like, Philly radio listener is not a very bright person, I guess, because they just listen to crap. And that's what it is. It's crap. You don't have to be a talented person to work in Philly. You just have to know how to turn the microphone on. Life's pretty easy. Josh and Clyde could save Philly radio if given the chance. Well, Clyde, that chance is not going to be given. I have it on pretty good authority at this point that chance is not going to be given. So, are you starting at 6 now? Well, I started about an hour ago. And the last couple of days, I'm just testing out different times here and see what works. We're off on Thursday and Friday. It's a weird week. So I decided, hey, why not? Hey, Josh, instead of watching wrestling, why don't you educate yourself and read a book? Oh, Meltzer's here. That's good.
To be fair, you don't really watch wrestling.
No, I don't watch any of it.
You
do.
actually read a lot of books.
I do. That's the thing I was trying to tell Meltzer, but I wasn't reading the right kind of books, I guess, to Meltzer. I needed to read books on race relations. I like when white guy tells you to read books about race relations, but that's Meltzer for you, and that's why I stopped talking with Meltzer. Meltzer sent me a text yesterday. It just says, "You despise me." I didn't respond.
Oh, that's going to eat at him, too.
Because I do. You've now taken me to a level that I do not find acceptable.
You despise me. That's
I do.
So Meltzer.
That is the very Meltzer thing, and he's not wrong. I do despise him. So I don't need people telling me
Well, it's
to.
good that you rekindled that friendship for about 6 months.
Listen, I will say this: I love him, and I will never stop loving him. But I do not like him, and that's one of. If Meltzer was like, if he was, if he had was his car stalled out in the middle of nowhere or something, it's like, I need your help. I'd come out and I'd help him. I wouldn't know what the fuck to do.
You wouldn't tell him to go read a book on how to fix his car?
Dude, that'd be a great opportunity for that, wouldn't it? Just be like, read a book. But I would do anything. I would help him. I would do anything. Okay. But I don't like him, is how it works. I love him. I would do anything. But I don't want to talk with him because I refuse to talk with people who tell me to read a book, especially considering that I am a very well-read individual. Very well-read. Nobody reads more than me. Nobody. It's just books that he wouldn't like, like the history of WCW Monday Nitro, or I've got Corolla's book coming in. I've also been reading this book about, media hate. You sound like my dad when he talks about me. I love you. I don't like you. That's how I am with Meltzer. I love him, but I don't like him. And I don't need his BS. I don't need to be treated this way and be told, to read a book when I bring you on my show. I have you as, I love you, but.
Speaking of dads, your dad has turned a corner on Facebook, evidently.
Oh, yeah. My dad claims that he's not going to post about politics. My dad posted something, and he wanted everybody to know that he has friends of all colors, and he has Democrat friends. I'm like, Dad, I've never met one of your black friends, and I've never met one of your Democrat friends.
But he's only posting positive things now, so we'll see how long that lasts. Because as we discovered yesterday, these positive posts are not getting as many shares.
Nope, and he's going to be jonesing.
And that's a big thing for old Scotty.
The thing about Philly radio hosts is they don't disrespect the fans here. Well, good for them. Whatever. I don't give a shit. They can do whatever the hell they want, man.
Oh, the morning guy at KRBE's got the Rona.
Oh, boy, that'll make for wonderful bits, I'm sure. Let's see. You'll do anything for Meltzer, but you won't do that. You are correct. Any go fishing updates? No, I haven't talked to my dad in a while. We're going to see him this weekend. Maybe he can give me an advanced screener. Let's see here. Can you interview your bum of a brother this weekend? Maybe I will. We'll get him. This is my brother. He might still be quarantined with his Rona-filled girlfriend's family.
I wonder if we'll even see him. I need to actually. That's a good point because if he's coming over for a 4th of July barbecue and he's still living with people who have the Rona,
yeah, I don't know that
I don't want to be around him.
Nope, we're gonna have to just go elsewhere. We have to go get a hotel and swim in that pool.
We're gonna need to have some clarification here as to whether or not he actually did have. Well, he didn't. What do you claim? His girlfriend's dad had it or something?
I wouldn't be comfortable with that. I'm saying, Dad, if we're gonna come there, I want nobody else at the house. I want to run your house. I don't need your little friends. I don't need any of that. I need your pool.
Don't plan a big 4th of July festivity, just, us and the grill.
Yep. And if you guys want to go out of town, that's fine too.
Just everybody leave.
We just want to come stay at your house for 4 or 5 days by ourselves. Please. Let's see. What do you think of Tony's show with Krause? I don't hear a lot of it. So, I mean, I'm sure it's good. The stuff I've heard was good when it first started. But I haven't been listening to a lot of it because, no offense to him, it's just when it's on, I'm not in the car, especially now that I'm doing the thing from 2 to 4.
Yeah, for a while we listened to it pretty much every day.
I know, and I enjoy it. I don't like seek it out on Twitch or anything like that. It's nothing against Tony. I love Tony. Everybody knows that. But I think Tony does a really good job. I think the two of them, it's him and what's his name? Harry Mays. What do you think of Hate Inc? I'm about 100 pages in. I need to get a little further in before I can tell you anything, because every time like I sit on the commode to read, I then, I only get like through 1 or 2 pages, so I need to really dedicate myself to that. What days are you not doing shows this week? Well, that'll be Thursday and Friday, and then maybe Saturday when we get drunk, we'll do it from the phone. We'll do it from my dad's house. Is Ike Reese more of a Philly guy than John Marks? Sounds like a great conversation. You should ask them. I'm sure it's riveting conversation. All right, so, anywho, we'll get out of here because now I have to crank up the old computer again and let this replay run into the podcast. So, I may be helping Krause with some radio stuff. Hopefully, I can get my last semester coming up. Oh, well, you know what? Hopefully you do, Clyde. Krause is a cool dude. So, I know that he and I are still talking about maybe making something happen with Cassio's station. We'll see. Cassio, me, Krause. I think Krause wants to move to Fort Myers at some point. I'd like to move to Fort Myers.